TJ Jones, the host of the State of the Saints podcast, and I want to let you know that the State of the Saints podcast is brought to you by Manscaped. Over 2 million men worldwide have joined the movement for all their below-the-waist needs. Engineers for the last 18 months have perfected the greatest hair trimmer ever created, the Lawnmower 3.0. The third-generation trimmer features a cutting-edge ceramic blade to reduce grooming accidents thanks to their advanced skin-safe technology pioneered by Manscaped. You can choose the Lawnmower 3.0 as well as other items by going to manscaped.com, and you can also save 20% by using the promo code State of Saints. That's manscaped.com. Use the promo code State of Saints and save 20% on the Lawnmower 3.0 as well as other Manscaped items. That's manscaped.com.
Hey, what's going on, Who Dat Nation? It is yours truly, TJ Jones, the host of the State of the Saints podcast. Hope everybody's having a great day. Hope everyone had a great weekend. This is the podcast where we talk New Orleans Saints. On this edition, we're going to be talking about the New Orleans Saints players opting out of voluntary off-season workouts. And we're also going to be talking about the New Orleans Saints signing a new wide receiver. But I want to thank you for tuning in and choosing the State of the Saints podcast for your listening or viewing pleasure. Want to encourage everybody to check out Manscaped, the official sponsor of the State of the Saints podcast. And also, man, I want to say thank you to everybody that checked out the State of the Swag podcast that's available now, man. I started and launched a brand new podcast focusing on the Southwestern Athletic Conference, that is HBCU football and the swag, okay? People know that I am a graduate of Jackson State University, man. I'm proud of my university, and I definitely love talking about HBCU sports. So if you like HBCU sports, man, you like, football, you follow Southern, Grambling, your alumni or some of these other schools around the Southwestern Athletic Conference, or you just like HBCU football, I encourage you to subscribe to the channel, okay? YouTube.com, search The State of the Swag podcast. I'm very excited about it, very passionate about it. Working right now to actually get a commentator on ESPN, Jay Walker, as the first guest on the State of the Swag podcast, man. So really excited about that. And thank you all for checking out the State of the Saints podcast, whether you're listening on YouTube, Facebook, or any other streaming device. I really do appreciate that. But let's go ahead and talk about what we're here for, right? Let's go ahead and talk about the New Orleans Saints players opting out of voluntary workouts. Well, first off, if you're just tuning in, the New Orleans Saints aren't the only team doing this, right? I got a list right here of the teams that also have decided to opt out of voluntary workouts this offseason. Some of those teams are the Broncos, the Seahawks, the Buccaneers, the Lions, Patriots, Bears, Browns, Giants, Raiders, Steelers, Falcons, Chargers, Jets, Dolphins, Rams, and 49ers. So the New Orleans Saints aren't the only team to do this. They're not. They're not the only team to opt out of voluntary workouts. And to me, this isn't a big deal. All right. It's not a big deal at all. I know some people, they do not like players for some apparent reason to have a mind of their own. They expect for those players to toe the line, dot every I, cross every T. Anytime a player talks about, unsafe or, unsafe work environment, all of a sudden everybody getting mad because everybody just feels like these guys need to be worker ants. Well, these guys do take a lot of hits and they take a lot of punishment on their bodies. And if you combine all these different workouts and going to the facilities and everything like that, I guess, they just looking at it like they want a full offseason. I mean, football is a grind. I mean, you're away from your family, you're away from your friends. I mean, you have to be dialed in for 6 months out of the year. Okay, 7 if you go all the way to the Super Bowl. So these players are like, man, y'all talking about voluntary workouts. Look, everybody on this level understands that they need to take care of their bodies. They understand the task at hand. They understand that they have to put their best foot forward. There's no need for us to show up to the facility in Metairie or show up at the facility across the NFL, wherever their facilities are, just so I can show you that I am actually in shape. Look, there's a lot of zeros on the line, okay, depending on me coming to camp, me coming to some of these activities in shape, ready to rock and roll. So I understand it on that point. But I will say this. I feel like some of those players out there, their reasoning behind not wanting to go to voluntary workouts is a tad bit hypocritical, okay? First off, they want us to actually believe that one of the biggest issues that they have is, being safe and, protecting themselves from COVID-19 and dealing with COVID protocol. I'm not buying it. All right. I'm definitely not buying that, because especially if I'm watching New Orleans Saints players, as I follow them on social media, and I probably make a lot of people upset about this, but I don't care. I'm seeing them going on vacations, being around a whole bunch of random people, doing these different camps and these different activities. And for some apparent reason, COVID-19 isn't on the menu in any of these situations. I would respect a person more if they honestly just say, we don't feel like we need voluntary workouts because we know what we need to do as professionals, versus you're telling us that, we care about our health so much. I mean, and care about our safety and our well-being and our soft tissues. I mean, you got people jumping out of boats. You got Alvin Kamara skiing in Montana. You got all these different things going on, and you expect for me to believe that you actually care and you don't want to go to voluntary workouts because you care about your extremities and you care about COVID-19, you can miss me with that, all right? But I do understand that these players are professionals and they feel like they're going to do what they need to do in order for them to stay on the field. But I just think they need to come up with better reasons. I mean, they say they stand in solidarity with their fellow NFL players, on those other teams. I respect that. But don't pee in the air and tell me it's raining. And y'all know what the pee I'm talking about. Don't try to insult my intelligence as a fan of the NFL. Don't insult my intelligence as a person in general. I understand what you want to do. I understand that y'all don't want to be there. I understand y'all don't feel like y'all need to be there. Just say that. Don't use COVID-19 as an excuse for everybody to gain sympathy for your cause. All right, because I'm not buying it. But I want to say thank you all for checking out the State of the Saints podcast. Once again, those that are filing in right now, I'm going to go ahead and read some of your comments. I'm going to start with Mario here. Mario says, man, you opt out. You better know that playbook. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, you definitely going to have to know the playbook, man. You definitely going to have to know the playbook if you decide that you're going to opt out, if that's what you want to do. And like I said, I have no problem with guys opting out at all, And I mean, and they still got other activities that they have, like mini camp and, OTAs and stuff like that they're trying to put together. I don't feel like all activities need to be virtual because, the NFL draft is coming up next week and you have a lot of young players that need to be in that facility. They need to be around the team in order for them to develop chemistry with the other players. I feel like that's very important. I think we've seen a little bit of a learning curve from a lot of these Saints players that they drafted last year because they didn't have the off-season workouts. They didn't have some of these off-season activities that we're used to seeing and reporting about. And those guys actually paid the price because of it. So I really feel like they need off-season workouts, especially when you got young players to come in and you want those players to be as up to date as they possibly can before they take the field in week 1. Jerry says, hope y'all had a good weekend. Yeah, Jerry, had a very good weekend, man. I was working with 90.9 FM, a radio station that I'm with, and we actually went out to a Earth Day event. It was really, really fun. Had a really good time. My wife, Paxton, came along with me to the event. It's always good when I can do a live on location and my wife and son can be out there, for them to enjoy it. And they had a good time, and I really enjoyed it. It was really good. It was really good, man. Sunday, honestly, I didn't really do anything. The only thing I did yesterday was just clean up the entire house. I just took some time out, during a week, when you're, ripping and running, as my mom would say, you always like leave a shirt or, like leave, things just lying around. So I really just took the time out and gave my crib a thorough cleaning, man. And I'm really excited about that. My wife, she was at home yesterday. She's doing a little meal prepping. So she was cooking throughout the day, and she's been preparing our meals for the entire week. So we're trying to eat a little bit better, trying to work on our physical fitness. So she's been meal prepping. I was cleaning, and Paxton was just around here singing every song that he heard on Cocomelon. So it was a great weekend. It was a great weekend. I hope you all had one as well. Gabriel says, where my boy Pac-Man at? Pac-Man is at daycare, man. Pac-Man goes to daycare during the week, man. Shouts out to his daycare, man. Great people. Paxton's been going to that daycare since he was about 3 months old. Paxton is turning 2 next month, which is unbelievable, man. I can't believe this, man. Time is flying. My son is turning 2. I have a 2-year-old son, but yeah, he's at daycare. James said, JSU, baby. Yeah, man, JSU. Excited about talking about my alma mater, man. Excited to talk about my alma mater as well as other swag schools on the State of the Swag podcast. And like I said, if you like the swag, you like HBCU football, just check it out. It's kind of similar to this format. I think you all can enjoy it. You all know how I do it, man. I make sports shows for the everyday person. You ain't got to have a PhD. You ain't got to be a bookworm or analytical, person to follow, this show. I try to make it as family friendly and as engaging as possible. And I'm bringing that same energy to the State of the Swag podcast. And also, man, if you like the State of the Saints podcast, you like what you're hearing so far, you're liking the podcast, go ahead and hit that like button. Go ahead and give me a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you're new. Zoidy says, who that? Jerry says JSU. Who we signed, Mario, I get into that a little bit later. I talk about him a little bit later for you all. Insanity is not insane says, do you think Jameis is motivated to beat Tampa this season? Well, absolutely, Insanity. I really feel like he's motivated to beat Tampa as well as other teams. But there's always something special when you beat the team that gives up on you. That's the game that motivates you. You got to think about it like this. Jameis Winston was the first pick overall back in 2015. He was the guy that was anointed to change the misfortunes of the franchise known as the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And, the organization gave up on him. They said that you're not good enough to lead our team anywhere. I mean, that's basically what you're saying when you don't re-sign a guy that you draft. So him coming to the New Orleans Saints with a different mind frame, it seems to me that he's focused on really – I don't even just think that Jameis Winston is just focused on beating Tampa. I think he's focused on changing the narrative of what people think about him as a quarterback. I think he believes in himself, but he also has a huge chip on his shoulder as of right now. So, of course, when he plays Tampa, he's motivated to beat them. I mean, this team gave up on him. This team said you're not good enough. I mean, apply it to your life. How many times has somebody written you off said that you're not good enough? How do you respond to that? It's been several occasions where people told me I wasn't good enough. People tell me all the time, your show wasn't going anywhere, you're wasting your time. That was a huge chip on my shoulder, and I turned the State of the Saints podcast into a very credible podcast. So imagine how that makes a person feels when you're getting written off. I think I know a lot of people in here has been written off one time or another in their life. You know, somebody telling you that you can't do something, you're not capable of doing something. I'm getting angry right now just thinking about it. Me personally, I don't want anybody to tell me what I can't do. And if you tell me what I can't do, I'm going to make a believer out of you. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to completely discredit what you have to say about me. You know, since I'm thinking about this, it reminds me of the time when I was in store management, man. I was working in Dallas, Texas, as a manager at CVS, man. I was an assistant manager at the time. And I was going for my evaluation. Like every year you do evaluation with your superior, you know, in this case, the store manager. And I remember this guy telling me, he said, I know you like to think of yourself as a leader or, you know, a person that has, a person that can lead people, but you're not. He basically, that's what he told me, you know. I'm going to give him a shout out. His name is John Rubin. John Rubin told me that I wasn't a leader, that, you know, I can't inspire anybody. And, you know, that didn't sit well with me, you know. And after that, you know, I feel like even though I never got an opportunity to tell him to his face, you know, he ate his words. You know, not only did I, you know, go on to become a store manager, but I end up winning awards because of being a store manager. So it was like a huge chip on my shoulder, man. And, you know, even like when, you know, I used to go to radio stations, I applied here one time and the guy told me that my New Orleans accent or my Southern dialect, it wouldn't like translate at that radio station. Boy, well, I tell you. But anyway, when people write you off, it motivates you. It motivates you to be the absolute best. So that's the way I do it, man. I get behind this mic, get behind this camera every single time. And in my mind, I'm making those individuals that wrote me off and said I couldn't be nothing, made them eat their words. That's the way, and I want them to eat their words. And Jameis Winston, I'm pretty sure, feels the same way. If he doesn't, then maybe he's not the competitor that we think he is. Gage says he's been trying to get it from the CBA for a while now, but teams keep fighting it. I don't know exactly what we're trying to get here, Gage. I don't know if it's a conversation that you was having with someone else. It looks like you're having a conversation with somebody else, so I apologize, Gage, that I don't understand what you're saying, what they're trying to get from the CBA. I assume that you're talking about, virtual sessions or maybe less off-season workouts. Yeah, it's been like that for a while, but I said this on countless occasions here on the State of the Saints podcast that these players, they always talking about the things that they want, but when these owners think of to carry the prosperity in their face, it's hard for them to say no. And sometimes you have to sacrifice some things in order for you to get results. And I just feel like these players are so quick to compromise because they're so afraid to lose a dollar. And I get it. You know, like people want money. People want to get paid, especially when you're putting all that wear and tear on your body. But at the same time, you're going to have to sacrifice some things in order for you to get results. It might even require you to sit down for a while. But when people understand their worth, when people understand that the establishment needs them more than they need the establishment, that's when you're going to see some change. But until then, you know, you keep on looking at your calendar, you keep on looking at the clock, and you wondering, man, I'm wasting money. Like I could be getting paid this. They're going to continue to manipulate you and make things work in their favor and not yours. Stroll down a little bit. Let's go to the Sinners. Thank you very much for the $2. Says, forget the Dirty Birds. We the Saints, real rivals. Yeah, man. Thank you very much for the $2. The Sinners. Yeah, there's definitely been a rival for, I don't know, millions of years. You know, as long as the earth been there, you know, the Sin has been a rival of the Saint. Yeah, you're definitely right about that. Be Kind, who's a supporter of the State of Saints podcast, says, who that's? Giving a shout out to everybody in the chat. Chris Rook says, we lost some key players. We need to focus on defense. The middle of the line needs it bad. Yeah, Chris, that's a good point. Like we did lose quite a bit of people, but that's what it's all about. It's about, drafting for need. The Saints aren't one of those teams that just draft out of desperation. They don't just get the guy that's supposed to be the best on the board. They really focus on the guys that they feel like would be a good fit for their organization. So defensively, they definitely need some help. They tried to get some help with TJ Kyrie, the cornerback that came from the Colts, but he ended up re-signing back with the Colts, so the Saints lost out on that. It's interesting to see what the Saints are going to do in the draft. I think they're waiting to after the draft to sign a free agent. And I think that most teams do the same thing. Teams are focused on the draft. They're seeing what's out there. They're seeing what they can get. And then once they draft those players, then they probably go back to free agency. And I think that's what the Saints are going to do. I think the Saints are focused on the draft. The draft is next week. You're going to try to see if you can get some positions filled, some guys that you feel like can be in those, roles that are missing. And then you go back and you take a look at free agency and see where you are then. So I think the Saints are going to end up signing a free agent cornerback. I just think that they're waiting to after the draft. Linebacker, who knows, man? Who knows what Kwon Alexander is going to do? Who knows what they're going to do in the draft? So all will figure itself out really, really soon. Cliff says, I'd like to see us draft a linebacker. Yeah, Cliff, me too. Xavier Collins is a guy that I've been screaming from the rooftops about. I like him a lot. I think he's going to end up being an all-pro type player. I think he's going to end up being a captain of a team, a guy that we talk about for years to come, pending injury. And I'm really interested to see if the Saints are going to draft a linebacker in the first round. We thought that they were going to try to get a guy like Kenneth Murray last season. Didn't work out. They ended up getting Cesar Ruiz in the first round. So we never know what the Saints are going to do. We think we know, but we don't know, in the words of Jim Moore. We think we know, but you don't know. Gay says, Tampa fine, get one relevant season, and they want to be our rival so bad. Well, look. They are atop of the NFL world right now, so they got room to talk. I have no problem with a Tampa Bay Buccaneer fan talking. They deserve to talk. I think that we'll be having the same type of energy if we actually won the Super Bowl, but we didn't. And we all know how this thing works, man. The goal is to win the Super Bowl, and Tampa Bay won the Super Bowl. As of right now, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have more championships than anybody in NFC South, and they beat the Saints when it mattered. So they got the right to talk. But as far as them being the Saints' biggest rival, no, they're not. I don't care how many Super Bowls they win. I don't think that they will ever be a rival like the Falcons are with the Saints. So it's almost like, they're trying to be that rival. They want to be that rival with the Saints, but they're not. Brian says we have to stop worrying about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We have to worry about Carolina Panthers. They just got a new quarterback, and I think you're going to and I think it's going to be really good. I assume that's what you're saying, Brian. Look, I like Carolina. I like Carolina's youth. I think that they're going to be a very credible team in NFC South for years to come, especially them being so young. But I just don't believe in Sam Darnold. I don't care. Like, Sam Darnold is going to have to prove it to me because I just don't see it. I don't see fire. I don't see leadership. I don't see passion. I don't see a guy that I would want to run through a wall for. And I don't see none of that in Sam Darnold. What I see is a guy who is unsure of himself. I see a guy who really don't have no swag, no confidence, no drip, no nothing. And I just think that he just fits the mold of what Joe Brady feels like can help Carolina win. For some apparent reason, they think that Sam Darnold is the answer. I don't know. Maybe he is. Maybe they can resurrect his career, but I just don't see it. Like there's a certain level of confidence a guy has to have when he is going through some growing pains, when he's going through struggles. And I just don't like the energy. Like people are acting like Sam Darnold, oh, he went to the Jets. Nobody would survive with the Jets. But I tell you what, man, I don't care how sorry your team is. As a quarterback, people should look at you and be like, okay, you know, like if he goes somewhere else, he'll be a whole lot better. I don't get that from Sam Darnold. I just feel like Sam Darnold didn't stand out in New York. Like it wasn't like Sam Darnold was just out there balling out 300-400 yards a game and a losing effort because the defense couldn't stop anybody. Like he was one of the problems. He was the one throwing interceptions. He was the one turning the ball over. He was the one making bad decisions. He was the one throwing inaccurate footballs. And like I said, I don't understand what Carolina saw in him to sacrifice so much and what made them want to give up on Teddy Bridgewater very quickly. But I just don't see Sam Darnold being the answer. But I ain't got no problem with it. You know, if he comes to the NFC South and he's not successful, I mean, the Carolina Panthers are one of the Saints' rival teams. So I don't care. So if they want to make that decision, fine. But I just think that that's pure arrogance on Joe Brady's behalf. And, you know, Joe Brady is nothing but, to me, a Sean Payton light. You know, it's almost like, I don't know, it's like a guy who retires, right? It's like a guy who finds the girl of his dreams and gives his homeboy his little black book. That's kind of like what Joe Brady is to me. He got the black book from Sean Payton. Okay, man, look, I'm gonna give you the black book. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna give you some of my plays. They basically just like New Orleans Saints. Like the formations that they run, the schemes that they run, the plays that they run are all New Orleans Saints based. They even got Tommy Stevens from the Saints to have him like a Taysom Hill type player. I don't believe in the Carolina Panthers. How are you going to be in the same division as the team that you're stealing plays from? I really just don't know. How are you in the same division running the same offense as the team that you have to play twice is running? Like, you don't think they see this stuff in practice all the time? You don't think that they scheme against this stuff in practice all the time? I just don't know. And you combine a guy who I feel like has very little confidence in Sam Darnold. I just don't see that. I just don't see it. But he can make a believer out of me, but I doubt it. Demarcus says we need to draft Kalen Mond. Kalen Mond, you know what I'm saying, a quarterback. I'm hearing a lot of good things about him. But look, I think that he's a gamer. I think that he's a competitor, but he has some issues that he needs to deal with. I'm seeing a lot of erratic play from him. I feel like he plays best when the play breaks down. That's not always the case. I'm always interested to see what a guy can do with a clean pocket, where he'd be able to stand strong and make those passes. I said the same thing last show about Ian Book. Ian Book has one of the best offensive lines in football, but yet he's still throwing balls over receivers' heads. So I'm always interested to see what guys can do when they're standing up straight. Okay, what are you going to do? Are you going to be able to deliver the football? Are you going to be able to deliver the football when the degree of difficulty is extremely high? What are the percentage of you going to be able to fit this pass into this little tight window? You know, so I think he's a baller. I think he's a competitor. He's a scrappy guy. But I don't know, man. I don't get it. I don't get him, you know. But I think he's a hell of a competitor. I give him that. Stroll down a little bit. Thank you all so much for being a part of the State of Saints podcast. Let's go to Darnell. Darnell says, first 3 rounds need to be linebacker, cornerback, and another cornerback. Might be. Might be. You know, he might be. Are you surprised by Alex Smith retirement? Yes and no. You know, I'm always rooting for Alex Smith. You know, y'all know that, man. I've said this on countless occasions here. I love his success story. A guy that almost got his leg amputated. You know, he go from that to coming back to the NFL, being comeback player of the year. I just think that dealing with all the issues that he dealt with, him fighting to be back on the field was a testament to his hard work, his dedication, and his drive. But, sometimes you just got to know when to hang it up. And I just feel like a lot of teams, unfortunately, will look at him as a liability. I feel like the football team allowed him to come back because, everything he went through, he hurt himself going out there competing for them. I don't want to say they felt like they were obligated to do so, but they felt like it was just the right thing to do. And, Alex Smith inspired a lot of people. So, he's successful. You know what I'm saying? Like, he made a lot of money. I feel so bad about his career. I think he could have been a lot better than his career indicate that he was. When you go to a struggling franchise, he went to the San Francisco 49ers. And, Alex Smith, he went through 7 coordinators, man, in 7 years. And when you're changing offensive philosophies year after year after year, I don't care how good you are, you're going to struggle. You're going to struggle because you're always trying to find a new philosophy. I just feel like if he has stability in the organization, maybe we will look at Alex Smith completely different than what we look at him now. Now, I'm not saying he's a bad quarterback. He's a guy that goes out there. He does exactly what you want him to do. But I think that he probably would have took that extra step if he had a coach and a coordinator throughout his entire career the same. You know what I'm saying? Even if, you play like 5 or 6 years and then you end up changing coordinators. But to have 7 coordinators, 7 straight years, like, I don't care who you are, you're not going to succeed in that. But I think when it's all said and done, Alex Smith is a true success story. Comeback player of the year, well-deserved. And I would say he had a decent career, man. So congratulations to Alex Smith. You got a wife, you got a family. I'm pretty sure that, he's going to end up probably working as an analyst or something like that. Good-looking guy. That's what producers and television networks want. So who knows, man? He might end up being on television. So congratulations to Alex Smith on a successful career. TJ, get the fresh chop, I see. Yeah, man. I get a haircut, every other week. Me and a packing man, we get our haircuts every other week. Having money as a player is not worth brain damage and hits to the head. That's true. Definitely. I want these players to be completely safe, but I do want some consistency with the gripes. That's my only issue. I just want some consistency. I don't want people to use certain issues as a scapegoat because, you want to get out of a situation. Like, let that be, like, just call it for what it is. Like, if you don't want to be at voluntary workouts, don't be at voluntary workouts. Just say, I don't want to be here. Don't bring up COVID. And I'm looking around on social media, like most football players are on social media, and you're seeing them doing all these outside activities around random folks, that I know for a fact that they didn't come in there with, come to the group with. These people came from different walks of life, and they're around those people. So don't say that on one hand and then turn around and tell me, oh, we care so much about COVID protocol, because that's a lie. That's not true. You don't want to do voluntary workouts because you feel like it's unnecessary. You feel like that's almost like the organization trying to babysit you and trying to keep you at close quarters so you won't be going out there making those late night runs to In-N-Out Burger or some of these other fast food restaurants to get yourself out of shape. That's all that's about. Call it for what it is. Call it for what it is, man. Don't lie to me. Don't lie to me. Don't insult my intelligence. That's my only issue, because I know you're lying. Ken Jackson says, do you think we make a move for Sheldon Richardson, defensive tackle? Depends on the price. Sheldon Richardson is definitely a really good defensive tackle. Has really set the tone everywhere he went. Definitely, to me, would be an upgrade from Malcolm Brown. No disrespect to Malcolm Brown. He was really good as a Saint. But, if they can get him, get him. But if he's asking for too much, then that's just something that you just, can't do. but he definitely would be a good asset to the Saints as an interior lineman. Josh giving a shout out to the OG, Jared Poor. Jared says, I was on Big Q channel Thursday night and Friday night. I'm still predicting linebacker at pick number 28 in the NFL draft. Yeah, man, shouts out to Big Q, man. Does a great job over there at the Sports Coma. The Saints think tank over there doing a really good job. Shouts out to that brother. I still stand by the linebacker draft pick too. I mean, it's more about a want than I'm more focused on it being a want than believing it. Like I believe that they will. I want them to get a linebacker. Hopefully Xavier Collins is there, or you move up to get him. Tampa Bay still can't win a division. Congrats on the 5-loss season. So proud. Well, at the end of the day, I would trade places with them in a second. Like they can have the division if I can have the Super Bowl. I'm just being serious. Like, would you? Like, I mean, let's put all, let's put all the pettiness to the side. Would you trade the Saints division title for the Tampa Bay Buccaneer Super Bowl championship? I wouldn't even bat an eye when I say this. Yes, I would. They can have the division. They can have it. I don't like T-shirts and all that is cool, man, but you don't get no bragging rights, man. You don't get no stripes for no T-shirts. The overall objective is for you to win the division, to set yourself up with a top seed going into the playoffs, to have a stronger possibility of winning the Super Bowl. But when you're losing at home in the playoffs 2 years in a row, when you're winning the division, have the best regular season record in the last 4 seasons, record combined than any other team, and yet you still didn't sniff the Super Bowl, it's a little bit of sour grapes. So I would trade places with Tampa in a minute. I don't care anything about a division title at this point. NFC South champions, that's just something that we're saying to the teams and the rival teams to make ourselves feel good. But I'll tell you, it doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good to be a division champ and a team that you beat twice in the regular season ends up winning the Super Bowl. It does not feel good to me. I don't feel confident about that. I'm not happy about that. I don't feel like it really means anything, to me. It doesn't. To me, it's like if we start off sprinting, right, and I'm winning a race the entire time, and then all of a sudden you speed up a little bit and go across the finish line. That's like me turning around and brag and say, I was leading most of the race. Well, did you win? Did you win the race? No, you didn't. Like you shot off and you was ahead of me. But at the end of the day, who broke the tape? So it means nothing to me. It's a lot of empty calories. Like I don't care. Like it's just a bunch of empty calories to me at this point. I would trade places with Tampa in a minute. I can't even be petty about that. Like people want me to be petty and talk about, and discredit Tampa's championship. I can't do that because that's what the overall objective is. That's what this whole show is built on. It's our love for the Saints, but at the same time, when we talk and we have these topics, what we talk about is ideas that we feel like will help this team get the advantage to win the Lombardi Trophy. So all the rest of this stuff is just white noise. Anytime, even if I talk about Atlanta, I feel like it's funny. People tell me, TJ, that's funny. I like when you talk about them, but it's irrelevant. You know what I'm saying? Like in a way, it's irrelevant. What I care about most is the Saints winning the Super Bowl. That's what I care about. That's what we have these shows about. That's what we talk about the NFL draft. That's when we have these different topics about players being signed to the team and some of the strategies the Saints use and some of the decisions that are being made. The overall objective is to make it to the Super Bowl. In the words of, Ricky Bobby, if you ain't first, you're last. Straight up. I will trade places with them in a minute. Colorado says, who do you think is going to the Super Bowl this year? I really don't know. And that's hard to say because teams get better every single year. And it's not like, if you watch the NBA, you have an idea who possibly can be there in the end. Like, the Lakers can be around there, the Clippers or the Brooklyn Nets. Like, you have an idea because of the players. But so many different things happen in the course of a season and at the beginning of the season, because everybody has the same salary cap and is based on the decisions of your front office and making, the fact that some of your key players don't get injured for, an extended amount of time. So I can't answer that question right now. If we're in the middle of the season, then maybe I have an idea at the beginning of the season, depends on some of the situations. But, of course, as a Saints fan, I'm always say the Saints, I'm always say the Saints, until they prove me wrong, but I can't tell you definitely who I feel like would be, in the Super Bowl when it's all said and done. Already read that. The first round, Drew said the Buccaneers have bragging rights in the division for Lombardi trophies. Yeah, they do. And you can't take that away from them. And I won't. Panthers going to miss Teddy once they see it. Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that statement. I agree with it. Can you see us signing Maurice Hurst, defensive tackle from the Raiders? Yeah, I can see that. I can see that happen. Almost like the Andy Dalton to Dak deal. Yeah. I can see them signing Maurice Hurst. I can see that. I don't think that he would, require a lot of money like a Sheldon Richardson would. Jets are glad he's gone. I agree. Like I said, if a team believes that they can win with you, there's no way in the world that they're going to let you go. I mean, we see all the situations that are going on with Deshaun Watson right now. All this stuff that's going on with him. All these women coming up saying that he sexually assaulted them or all that kind of stuff there. But yet, what's the one thing that we're not seeing? We're not seeing the Houston Texans cut Deshaun Watson. Now, if Deshaun Watson was slow, if Deshaun Watson was middle of the pack, if Deshaun Watson was, a promising athlete, then trust and believe he would be looking for a job right now. So if a team really cared about you, if they really thought that they can actually win with you, there's no way in hell they would let you go. The fact that the Jets basically let Sam Darnold go for some magic beans, right? You know what I'm saying? Like that's what it was. They basically let him go for some magic beans, some llama beans, some black eye beans, some snap beans. That's basically what they gave him. They gave him away for 2 proofs of purchase, for God's sakes. Like, if they really thought that they can win with Sam Darnold, there's no way in the world he would be in Carolina right now. But that's what it is what it is. I can understand why they just don't want to keep him. There's nothing about Sam Darnold to me, and I promise you that I am not being a hater. There's nothing about Sam Darnold to me that I feel like would inspire anybody, right? I feel like you would get more inspiration out of a bag in a wind, okay? A plastic bag flying in the wind than you would with Sam Darnold. I feel like you would get more motivation from a white wall than you would from Sam Darnold. Like there's nothing about this guy that inspires me. Like nothing, dudes feel it seems like he has no charisma at all. Like he's like a charisma vacuum. I couldn't play for a guy like that. Like if I'm playing alongside a guy or a guy's my quarterback, I want to feel like I can win with this guy. I want to feel like this guy has what it takes to get me to where I need to be. And I don't get that from him. I just feel like he's just a waste of time. And I just feel like he's one of those quarterbacks that get the benefit of the doubt, even though what the hell has he done to get it? Demarcus Robinson and my Fred Sanford. Are you crazy? Jamie Newman is a better prospect than Kellen Mond. I agree with that. I think a lot of people forget about Jamie Newman, Hakeem, is because he sat out, right? Out of sight, out of mind. That's one of the main reasons why you have some of these other wide receivers emerging, and people weren't really talking about Jamar Chase as much. Even though, people know that Jamar Chase is special, you had other people like Devontae Smith and some of these other wide receivers that are coming out. People were talking about them a little bit more because Jamar Chase decided to opt out. Now, Jamar Chase is still supposed to be one of the top receivers off the board, if not the top receiver, but it's just out of sight, out of mind. Jamie Newman, who came from Wake Forest, was supposed to go to Georgia, decided to opt out, didn't get an opportunity to play. So that gives other people like Zach Wilson from BYU and Justin Field from Ohio State. And I don't even put Trevor Lawrence in there. People knew he was going to be a first-round pick when he was dissecting Alabama as a freshman. But it gives these other guys opportunities to emerge ahead of you. And it's not as if Jamie Newman was setting the world on fire. I just felt like, him sitting out, it kind of was, his detriment. Now, if he would have went out there and played at Georgia and did a really good job and went out there and had a respectable season, then I feel like the narrative would have been different. That's the way I feel about it. But I want to say thank you all for checking out the State of the Saints podcast. And as you know, the State of the Saints podcast is brought to you by Manscaped.com. Manscaped.com is the #1 leader in all men's grooming products. Over 2 million men worldwide have chosen Manscaped for their grooming needs. And as you know, the NFL draft is coming up really, really soon. And the product that you need to select is Manscaped. Okay. Manscaped has some really great products. I use Manscaped products all the time. If you can go to manscaped.com and you can save 20% off of your purchase. All you have to do is use the promo code State of Saints. That's all one word, State of Saints. You will save 20% off. And there's also free international shipping that is available for you. Once again, that's manscaped.com, the official sponsor of the State of the Saints podcast. And for those that want to donate to the State of the Saints podcast, you can do so. I want to thank Cash App for working with the State of the Saints podcast for the month of April. You can use this profile here, $ State of Saints, if you would like to donate to the State of the Saints podcast. Some people donate on YouTube. Some people donate on Facebook. But if you want to use Cash App, and you have a Cash App, you can use that profile named their State of Saints. And if you don't have Cash App is the #1 leader in money transfers, man. I mean, you hear so many hip hop artists talking about Cash App, and Cash App is a part of pop culture, man. So check them out on Cash App. Download the Cash App today. All right. But let's go ahead and talk about the Saints wide receiver. Okay. The Saints decided to sign a wide receiver. All right. They signed out of Tulane, Jaylen Mccleskey. Jaylen Mccleskey actually started his career at Oklahoma State. He started off at Oklahoma State, and look, this dude put up some very respectable numbers in college, man. Over 2,400 yards, 21 touchdowns. And I got to say, man, I was really impressed by some of the highlights that I saw out of Jaylen Mccleskey. He's really, really good. He's a solid wide receiver, man. As you can see right now, that's double cup. He's being doubled right there. Caught a touchdown right there, man. This dude seemed like he's a baller. This next play right here was very, very impressive to me, the one that they're about to show right here. Okay, quarterback is on the goal line right here. He rolls out. And watch this catch by Mccleskey right here, man. This is stuff. This is some NFL type stuff right there. You know what I'm saying? Like, you show his, leaping ability, good vertical. This play right here, man, basically won the game for the Tulane Green Wave. So this guy right here is just an absolute baller, man. He's 5'11", 175 pounds. I'm going to say that again. He's 5'11", 175 pounds. I mean, first off, all I got to say about that is dude need a steak sandwich, all right? Dude need a steak sandwich. 5'11", 175 pounds. My dude, it's time for you to eat a steak sandwich, all right? I feel like he needs to bulk up a little bit. But nevertheless, I mean, he started his career. He was on the practice squad at Atlanta Falcons. The Saints signed him. His dad used to actually play for the Saints. And, him coming to Tulane was, really an asset to the Tulane Green Wave. So I'm interested to see what he's going to do in camp. Do I think he's going to change the Saints' fortune at wide receiver? I don't think so. I think that if he comes in here and he competes, if he goes out there and he, goes out there, put his best foot forward, he has a chance of making the team. I think with his speed, he can help out on special teams. But I do think that he needs to bulk up a tad bit. 5'11", 175 pounds, that is small for a wide receiver, man. At least get up to at least 189, 190 or something like that, man, where you can absorb some of those hits that those defenders are going to put on you. That's what my biggest issue is with smaller wide receivers. Those guys are fast. Like you have the people like Deontay Harris. Those guys are fast, shifty, got good wiggle. But you put one hit on them, man, they're going towards the sideline, holding their arm, they're holding their leg or something. So I think he needs to put a little bit more weight on, but I think he'll be a good fit. I mean, he has a lot of confidence, man. I like his swagger. I like his confidence. I think that, that's the first thing you need. You need confidence in believing that you actually can play the position. And once you have that, along with the skills, you'll be okay. Tragic said, I totally agree, TJ. Sam Darnold, a poor man. Jay Cutler doesn't inspire any teammates. Yeah, at all. I never heard anybody just come out and talk about Sam Darnold. Like, maybe I'm wrong. I don't follow Carolina like that. But even, has Robbie Anderson said anything about this? Like, has Robbie Anderson put anything up on social media? A guy who played with Sam Darnold for the Jets. Now he's going to play with him again. Like, I don't know. Like, has he said anything about him? Like, I haven't heard anybody really say anything about Sam Darnold at all. That's alarming to me. I would like to see that happen. I like this signing. Chosen, thank you very much for the 199. Says, what's good, big bro? Glad to hear from you. Yeah, glad to hear from you too, man. Just been grinding, man, getting these podcasts off the ground, man. Just state of the Saints, state of the swag, and I'm also doing a podcast with my nephew, TJ Knows Wrestling Podcast. So really been working, man. Really trying to cover all grounds when it comes to podcasting. I love it. I remember that Tulane-Houston game. That's a classic. Chosen, getting a shout out from Jerry. Official Young Nola says, I'm late, but what's poppin', TJ? What you think about this situation? I have no problem with them opting out. I really don't. I have no issue with that. I don't feel like it's affecting anything as long as those guys come in shape. You think that wide receiver from Tulane going to start? No. As of right now, I don't believe he's going to start. Can he be in a rotation? Possibly. But he has to come in and ball out. I like what I see so far, but as far as me thinking that he can start, no. Notice I called TJ out and he ain't said nothing. He all talk, baby, but I'll give him a chance to prove me wrong. Josh, I don't know exactly what you're talking about. I don't know what you called me out. Let me see. Okay, TJ, you can't give the Josh man $10,000 through PayPal today. You ain't talented enough. Oh man. I didn't ignore you, man. Like, I guess I'm not talented enough. I guess I'm not talented enough. But I didn't even know you asked me. I don't know if you're joking or not, but yeah, man. I guess I'm not talented enough. Are you surprised by Alex Smith retirement? I read a couple of these already. I just scrolled up. See, that's the reason why. I'll be trying to keep a theme if I have a topic or something like that. If I have a topic about like that or something like that, I try to keep it, I try to keep the comments rolling so we can just stay on topic. What's up, who that? Please draft Xavier Collins, but the Saints can be unpredictable sometimes. I think that's most of the time. I don't think I can think of a time where the Saints actually drafted somebody I thought they was going to draft, with the exception of Reggie Bush. A new quarterback, though, we have a better chance if we win the division. Could be. I hope you trash the Falcons, though. Probably not today, man. I don't feel like, look, I ain't about to waste my time with that, man. If the conversation is warranted, then I'll talk about them. But I don't feel like they were talking about. What's up, who that's so hyped for the draft? It should be interesting. Yeah, me too. I'm definitely excited about going live. For the NFL draft, going live is very, very exciting to me. This is going to be our second annual State of the Saints podcast live draft reaction show. Last year was extremely successful. Shouts out to everybody that was a part of that show back in the day. That's probably still to this day one of my favorite shows. I go back and watch that from time to time, especially like my reaction when they end up drafting Cesar Ruiz. That was hilarious, man. That was like one of the funniest things, man. I think like it was so funny because man, that was just such a genuine response. It was just hilarious to be the linebacker for Notre Dame, the best linebacker. TJ, do you think that? No, I do not. I feel like Xavier Collins is the best linebacker in the game. Okay, I think that I can't think of the guy's name. I know you're talking about. He has a African name. I think that he is just a good workout warrior, and I think sometimes we see these guys measurables and we see what these guys do in the combine. And all of a sudden, we think they're the best. But I'm talking about instincts. I'm talking about abilities to get around the football. I'm talking sideline to sideline. I'm rolling with Xavier Collins. I think I pretty much covered everybody that I see here. And once again, man, I apologize if I didn't, read everybody's comments. Y'all know how it go. It will be the Jets versus the Lions. I already read that. But I appreciate everybody comments. Like I said, sometimes I don't get an opportunity to read everybody's comments, but I just be trying to keep the theme going. Once again, I started a podcast entitled The State of the Swag Podcast that's available right now. The description is down below. You can click the link and it brings you directly to the page. The State of the Swag Podcast focus on the Southwestern Athletic Conference, HBCU football. Excited to do it, man. Being a graduate of Jackson State University, have an opportunity to create a platform and a podcast focusing on HBCU sports. It's something that I hold near and dear to me. I love it, and it's the same type of format, man. If you like the State of the Saints podcast, I know for a fact that you will like the State of the Swag podcast. We talk about just what's going on. Congratulations to Alabama A&M and also Arkansas Pine Bluff. Those two teams will be playing for the SWAC championship. And it should be interesting to watch. Can't wait until football starts. I just ordered my Saints gear. Ready. Let's go. Who that? Yeah, I think we all are excited about football. I mean, this time right here is, man, I hate this time. It's so hard. I don't want to say it's really hard to find content, but I just feel like I want to talk about football. Like I want to talk about the games, right? And I think like after the draft, things will start picking up, and I think it'll be more exciting. Do you think Trevor Lawrence is the best quarterback in this class that you ever seen? No, I do not. I don't think that he's going to be a bust, but it remains to be seen. I just feel like Trevor Lawrence deserves to be the first pick overall because he's done so many things for that to happen. Like, I just think that people had their mind made up about Trevor Lawrence when he dissected Alabama in that national championship game. Like, when he was a true freshman, people were like, yeah, bro, like this that guy right here. And I just think that would just their mind was made up. It was official. He was going to be the next one, the next Andrew Luck, the next sure thing, next Peyton Manning. So I do think that he's going to have a successful career, but I think these other guys can have a successful career pending going to the right situation. TJ is so boring waiting for the NFL season to start. Absolutely. Oh, my goodness. I'll be trying to find things to do. I'll be trying to find things, different articles and different topics to talk about. And I don't just want to just jump on every just topic. Like I don't think I ever get that desperate. Like some people just cling on to every little bit of news, and I can't roll like that, man. Like I don't really feel strongly about something. I just don't feel right getting behind the mic to talk about it. I don't. And, I never want to be like those quick reactionary type people either. Not like when a story comes out about the team, all of a sudden people just jump on there, and I guess they be trying to be first to try to, build up their following. I understand that. But as for me, man, like I like to let things kind of marinate a little bit to get my mind right. I feel like that's when you really start to think clearly. Like you ever like got into like an argument or something like that, or somebody made you mad and your first reaction probably just to lash out, but you decide to kind of just chill a tad bit, like just chill out. And then you like your mind gets clear, and all of a sudden, you're like, I think I see things a little bit better now. I'm ready to have this conversation. Chosen, thank you very much for the 199. Says top 3 episodes: draft, Vikings loss, and Bucks loss. Oh my goodness, man! In that order, yeah, they're wild. I think to me, that Vikings loss in the wild card game, that's when I feel like the State of the Saints podcast like turned the corner. To me, that's when I feel like I was like, yeah, this show gonna be something. Like this show is gonna be something special. I knew it then, when that happened. But that draft show, man, that was just on another level to me. But it just, man, when I think about where this show came from and where it is now, it's like unbelievable, man. Like it's just weird, man. Like I never like I don't know, man. Like I never ever thought that I would be recognized for doing something like this. Like I was actually at the gas station. I was going up in there. I was stopped at this gas station. It was right down the street from my son's daycare. The guy, like I'm paying for gas or whatever, and the guys came up to me, knew exactly who I was, man. I was like, man, that's insane. But I just never thought that the show would just ever get to that point. Like I said, I'm just basically playing with house money right now. This show all started about me being mad that Ryan Fitzpatrick put up 400 yards on the Saints. And the rest is history. Like, it's unbelievable where this show has come. How far this show has come. Like, we went from being mad at Ryan Fitzpatrick to talking to Bobby Hebert. Like, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable, man. But, I love the direction this show is going in, and man, I don't see any signs of slowing down. State of the Saints podcast. Hey, what's going on, Who That Nation? And welcome to another edition of the State of the Saints podcast, where we talk New Orleans Saints. Hey, that's the original intro right there. That's the original intro. That's like when I was doing voiceovers. I was trying to go back and trying to figure out where did I start like doing the host and bowing the head. Like I can't find it. And I cannot tell you why I started doing it. I don't. I can't tell you why I started like doing it. For some apparent reason, I just started doing it. And I like, okay, but that's how I originally, like, that's how long Jared been rolling with the show. That's exactly how I used to start this show. Let's see. Thanks for checking out the podcast. I really do appreciate it. Yep. Yeah, man. That's that's throwback right there. That's when I was just doing voiceovers. And honestly, Jerry, I'll just be real with y'all. I used to do all those voiceovers. Like, this was before, I want to say right before Paxton was born. And me and my wife were staying in a 2-bedroom apartment. And I would actually like go in a closet and record like all those voiceovers like on my phone. Like I would actually use my phone. I would record it on my phone, and I would upload the voice track to the computer, and then I'll just make a little slideshow about it. So anybody just thought it was just a sophisticated operation, you're sadly mistaken. Anybody that feel like you can't have a podcast without having a top quality mic, some high quality headphones, and a ring light, you're sadly mistaken. All right. All it takes is determination, man. And, God take care of the rest. How have you been, TJ? These couple of days, I've been playing the game called Illicit, PlayStation 5, PC, Xbox, and new Xbox Series game of the World War shooters. Okay. And shouts out to Ramsey giving us the game of the week right there, Illicit. Y'all check that out. Available on PS5, Xbox, and the new Xbox Series. So y'all check it out and let Ramsey know what y'all think about that. So what's next with the Saints? I really don't know what's next. I guess the next thing would be the NFL draft. I mean, everything is basically going to be dictated by the draft. Okay, so if we need a cornerback, it all depends on if the Saints feel confident about what they do in the draft, right? But I still think they're going to get a veteran cornerback, and I think they understand it. Like I said, that their first plan backfired with TJ Curry. I don't know if they're waiting for Richard Sherman to see where his financial situation is going to be or see if he's going to get signed with a team. But it all depends on what's going to happen after the draft. That is going to be the deciding factor. So once the draft is over, I think we'll have a clear idea about what the Saints are going to do. That's my honest opinion about that. But thank you all so much for checking out the State of the Saints podcast. Thank you all for choosing the State of the Saints podcast, whether you're listening to it or viewing it live or you're checking the replay. Thank you so much. And no matter what time of day you're watching this, I really do appreciate it. And subscribe to the YouTube channel, youtube.com, search The State of the Saints podcast, facebook.com, search The State of the Saints podcast. Once again, check out the new podcast entitled The State of the Swag podcast. That's available on Facebook as well as YouTube. Subscribe to that channel as well. And previous episodes of the State of the Saints podcast are available on iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and Anchor FM. Thank you all once again. And thank you to the sponsor, Manscaped, the official sponsor of the State of the Saints podcast. Go to manscaped.com. Use the promo code State of Saints. That's all one word, State of Saints. You will save 20% off. And also a special thank you goes to Cash App. If you want to donate to the State of the Saints podcast, do so by using that profile name, $ State of Saints. That's $ State of Saints. And if you want to become a supporter of the State of the Saints podcast, that link is also down low in the description. And if you want to also support on Facebook, all you have to do is just hit the link above the main screen of the Facebook page. So thank you all so much. Much love to you all. Looking forward to talking about the NFL draft on the next edition. And you all be safe. Till next time, all I got to say is, who dat?